9 times out of 10 is something that we wish we would have had, So our customers are one of our biggest sources of like new ideas and product offerings. So that's why I love to go to these shows and like I said, the classes, they're so great because we all can, talk to each other. You have 50, 60, 100 minds all in one room that love doing the same thing. And it just feeds off of each other, and the energy is always great.
Yes. And the good thing is, while you might have someone who is a newbie and they're going to be thinking about a project different than someone who's been
Right.
doing it for years and years. And when you can bring that together with along with your knowledge, I bet it's magical. uh, Cindy says, hello. Hi, Cindy. Welcome to
Hey,
the
Cindy.
live. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your history. So, how did you get into the industry of embroidery, sewing, quilting,
Well,
whatnot?
I have been sewing since I was 6 years old. And I think it was a couple of maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was telling somebody, I said, well, I've been sewing for 40 years. And I'm like, oh no, I'm getting old. I have been sewing for 40 years, which is when people look at me, no, you haven't been sewing that long. So I started sewing when I was 6 years old. My mother would send me to my great aunt every summer. I started making Cabbage Patch Kid clothes,
Oh, I
literally,
love it.
because I was a child, right? But I took to it, and my parents were very supportive and bought me whatever I wanted in order to keep sewing. So all throughout school and high school, I would make prom dresses for people, and I mean, I did the wedding dresses. I've done it all, so I have a lot of experience with that. Well, when I went to college, I have my undergrad and a graduate degree, and I had a career. Well, things just kind of fell by the wayside with sewing because I was very, very busy during my career. I had a 20-year career with a healthcare company, and the last 15 years of that, I was a vice president. So it was the time commitment was a lot. So
Right.
but then when my mom, who has been gone now for 15 years, she had got diagnosed with breast cancer. And that was a devastating thing in my life. My mom and I were best friends, and I taught her to sew when I was 13 years old. So my mom didn't know how to sew, and we were sewing buddies. And because she loved it, we had a dedicated sewing room, and we would sew together all the time. Well, when my mom passed away 15 years ago, I took it extremely hard. It was a very difficult time in my life. And when I went to seek help from a counselor, they said, well, what did you and your mom do that was special? Like, what reminds you of your mom? And so I said, well, sewing. And unfortunately, 2 years before that, my house flooded during Katrina, and I lost all of my machines and all of my sewing stuff. So I said, well, I guess I just need to go shopping now. And so I went on a big old shopping spree in memory of my mom. And I spent
Yes.
thousands of dollars because you all know how much it is. I
Yes.
bought a I bought a 6 needle embroidery machine. I bought a sewing machine. I bought a serger. I literally went just kind of like crazy. And I
Yes.
bought all this fabric. And then, so I started making things and going to craft fairs and things like that. And then I said, well, I need to start buying this fabric at wholesale so that I could, increase my margins.
Right.
And then I had all this fabric on my hands. And I said, well, maybe I should open up a little Etsy store and sell my extra fabric. Well, that's what started it. I had this in my house. I had an Etsy store very, very early on when Etsy was in its inception. And then I said, okay, well, I'm having more fun selling fabric than I am like going to craft shows. So
Hmm.
I started increasing my inventory, grew out of one house, moved into a bigger house, overtook that. It was a 3,800 square foot house. And we literally just lived in the basic part of it. And I had fabric and notions and everything everywhere. And so finally, after I filled that house up, I'm like, I need a store. And that's when we opened up our retail space. And we went from a 1,600 square foot, a little cottage. We were there for 5 years. Then we went to a 3,000 square foot commercial space for 3 years. And I knew during that time, I'm like, I want my own building. And so we
Mhm.
started shopping for a building and ended up with this beautiful 5,000 square foot building. So that's kind of the story of how it started and how we got to where we are today.
I love it. You found your passion
Yes.
and you have grown it tremendously. I love so when you guys first moved, I don't even know when it was, but you posted a picture of your fixtures that were sewing machines.
The sewing machine lights, yes.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, my husband, Mark, will do just about anything I ask him to. He never says no when I come up with these crazy ideas. You can see it. Our home is like very different and unique because we built all of our lighting fixtures and everything in our home as well as the store. If you come visit us or have ever visited us, we have pallet wood walls. We have the classroom has black walnut tables with sewing machine bases. There's little touches of us. We have beams in the store that were reclaimed from the textile mills in the Carolinas, which, that is like always kind of a neat thing to me that we took something that was in a textile mill, and if they could only talk to us, what would they say? You
Yeah.
know, you're doing that wrong, honey. You might. Thinking about what that would be so cool. And then we did the sewing machine lights, and I get these ideas or see something, and I'm like, hey, can you do that? And he's like, well, I'll try. And so we went, and all these sewing machines we had, he made the light fixtures out of them. They're really, really cool. And that you'll see that in the magazine. They took a close-up picture of one of those lights. Um, but yeah, he just pretty much does anything I ask him to, and if I want it, he'll try it.
Yeah, I love that
That's
support,
awesome.
and you guys seem to um, balance each other out. That's kind of how my husband and I are too. I'm the gas, he's the brake, but also very supportive in his um, being the brake. I think sometimes you need a little bit of a yin and yang, and
Yes.
you work well together. Um, so we haven't announced where our show after Myrtle Beach will be,
Okay.
but it will be very, very close
Yes.
to your store, which I can't wait to stop in and just take a look in person. I know Hope was saying that her family shops is a frequent shopper to your
Oh,
store.
great, great.
I have I'm my family, I mean, I'm in Houston right now, but I'm originally from New Orleans and my whole
Okay.
family still lives over there. And yes, I was actually when I started working with Christina and I was going through different lists and your store name popped up and I was looking at it because I saw that it was in New Orleans or one of the stores was and I was like, wait. And I started looking and I was like, wait, I've seen that fabric and my aunt gave that to my mom for this or that and then I tell my mom and she's like, "Oh yeah, they go there all the time." It's like, oh,
Uh,
okay. So I have
that's
seen
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Fangirl
So
moment.
next time I'm in New Orleans, I'm
You'll
definitely
have to come visit us for sure.
definitely.
Yes.
But I thought it was funny how I was like my whole family, a lot of the women sew in my family, so it was funny when that connects, like
Yes.
all your worlds connect.
They
Yes.
do.
So if you guys are not in the area, Angela does have a website that you can purchase online, and then you ship all over the country, right?
Yes, we do
Um,
ship 6 days a week. So we have a lot of loyal customers that we've met at these shows that continue to shop with us year after year. We ship every day and we recognize your names, and we always love to see you when we go to the shows.
yes. And of course, you have Facebook, obviously. I'm definitely following all those pictures. If you guys want to give her a follow or a like, you should definitely do so. And then sign up at EEM shows for one of her classes. Again, she's got the all about cork and then the sewing room and craft room essentials. I got it right that time.
Yes.
You can sign up at eemshowscom, and we are excited to see you there. If I haven't mentioned it already, our show will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the Chattanooga Convention Center, April 28th through the 30th. We have an awesome an awesome group of vendors and teachers. And of course, like we said, Angela's booth is beautiful. You're going to be captivated. That's one of the booths that people come back and back. They'll walk by and be like, "Oh, I need that." And then they'll come back again and say, "I need that too." And then they'll go to a class and they'll be thinking about that little gadget, as you called it, and come back again. And that's totally okay. And that's fun. You might meet someone, network with someone who now tells you your new favorite tool or fabric or notion, and Angela's going to have it. And if for some reason it's not at the booth, she's got her big store that she can get it to you.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to ask. That's what we're here for. All the vendors want to talk to you, and you can tell just by listening to you talk about your history and how you got in the industry. You are passionate about this. You're fired up and ready to just, I guess, take over the world when it comes to this industry. And I love it. And I think that there's going to be this, I think this show is going to be different. It's going to be different because it's your first one with us since retiring.
Yes.
And you've always been wonderful. Every time I've always just admired you from a distance, how you meticulously set up your booth and how you interact with customers. But I cannot wait to see this one in Chattanooga.
I am so excited. I'm not going to have another president or vice president calling me while I'm setting up the booth like, "Oh, you need to stop and do this." I'm so excited to not have that this year. In the last show, all day, I had like 6 phone calls that day from my job, even though I was off. They still would call me, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad to give it 100% of my attention.
Guys, and Angela's dedicated. The last one was in Biloxi, and the weather and everything was so bad, and you guys, you pulled through, and it was so good to see you, and I'm so happy that you'll be at the next one. Yeah. So if you guys don't have any questions, let me see if there's any comments coming through. I can't see. Is there a show coming to New Orleans? So it's not going to be in New Orleans, but it will be in Louisiana. So we'll be announcing that here shortly, dates and location for that as well. We'll probably after Chattanooga.
So. That one will be in 2023.
Yes. So it's a little ways out.
A little ways away. So you still probably want to come to Chattanooga or the next one. Just saying.
Yes. So we less than a month away, guys. If you're even on the fence, come sign up. You can buy tickets at the door for classes, but there will be classes that sell out, and you don't want to miss it. If there's something that you're interested in, whether you're a hobbyist or a seasoned business owner, we have a little bit of something for everybody, and we want to see you there. We're excited. And Angela, again, if you want to tell us where we can find you, and otherwise I think we'll hop off. And
okay. Yeah, you can visit us at our website, allstitchedupbyangela.com. We also have a Facebook group and a Facebook page, as well as an Instagram account as well. So we are in Slidell, Louisiana. If you're in the area, we have a small store in Metairie, Louisiana as well. We would love to see you on your travels. A lot of people travel this I-10 corridor, I-12, and we are literally right off the interstate, not probably less than a mile off the interstate. So when you're headed to Florida or to Texas or going to New Orleans, we're right there. So come give us a visit, and we would love to have you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Angela, for taking some time just to share with us your passion. And we cannot wait to see you. Again, Angela is going to be teaching all about cork and the sewing room and craft room essentials. You don't want to miss it. Even if you've taken it before, it changes with the season, and Angela's all in. Come learn from her and just get a little bit of her sunshine, a little bit of her passion. So, all right.
Thank you so much.
Anything, Hope?
I was just going to say, again, congratulations on your award.
Oh, thank you so much.
I cannot wait to see the
I know.
magazine. I'm going to have to stop by. So,
Yes.
For sure.
all right. Thank you so much, Angela. Y'all
Y'all have
sign
a
up.
wonderful
Okay.
day.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.